Hi, everybody. This is October 27th, 2023. I just finished my telephone visit with my brother, Paul Kierans, that I'm allowed by L'Arche. So I'm allowed a 10-minute telephone call at 4:30 on Friday, and I called at 4:30 on Friday, and they said that he was out. I thought there's always something, there's always some trick. So they said, could I call back? So I get 10 minutes a week. And, with the man who's 5 years past the life expectancy for somebody with Down syndrome. And, they almost all get dementia. And, he was so vibrant when I last saw him. I last saw him on September 10th of 2022, and I took him on an outing to Lafarge Lake. We went on the SkyTrain. We went to a folk concert, walked around Lafarge Lake. I've shown you the videos. He was so lively and so sharp. And I didn't know then, but that was going to be the last time that I would see him. 2 days later, I got a letter from my sister's lawyer in Ottawa terminating permanently my visits with Paul. And I got a letter from L'Arche's lawyers saying, you will never see your brother again. Her name is Tara Britnell at a firm called Hamilton Duncan in Surrey. Can you imagine writing a person, another human being, and saying, you're never going to see your brother again? And I knew there would be repercussions because today was a good day from a legal standpoint. I woke up to an email from the Court of Appeal registrar saying that I could go ahead with my application to have Paul examined by my psychiatrists, by my expert doctors, which they've been fighting for almost 6 weeks now. And so I had to race down to the courthouse, file the document, the notice of application, and then go to Staples, photocopy all the materials for the process server. Everything has to be served by the process server. And I had to go to my process server and drag my briefcase up 2 big flights of stairs. It was really hard. And drop off the materials for the process server and give them instructions and pay them $110. They gave me a discount. Like, I know they gave me a discount because it's $144, but they only charged me this time $110 so they could serve Paul. And they were very kind. But I knew there would be repercussions because L'Arche, Community Living BC told me the first time L'Arche terminated my visits with Paul on the basis of COVID-19. Community Living BC, their manager said to me, L'Arche does what L'Arche wants. And I knew when I got this good news from the Court of Appeal, and the good news was not that I'm going to get the court order that Paul can be examined by my psychiatrist. It's just that I am allowed to apply to have him examined by my psychiatrist. I have a court hearing on November 14th at 9:30 a.m. Please, everybody, try and make it to that hearing. This is sort of a do or die hearing. And it's all it is just that Paul can be examined by my psychiatrist. The judge who appointed my sister, the committee of Paul, his decision maker, made, who knows what he was doing, but with all the evidence before him, I made a thumb drive with all the affidavits and all the evidence on a searchable file. So he could just search for any affidavit and anything that he wanted. But what he said was that Paul was offered the choice of me or May Kierans as a representative, and he chose May. That never happened. L'Arche offered on February 1st of 2021 so they could give him the COVID shot. L'Arche says they offered him my sister May, the nun who's 4,000 kilometers away in North Bay, Ontario, left home when Paul was born, or my sister Brenda, who lives on Vancouver Island, moved away. And so I was not even given as an option. I wasn't even mentioned. But the judge said Paul was offered for me to be his legal decision maker, or for my 81-year-old nun sister 4,000 kilometers away. And they say that he chose me. Well, that didn't happen. So what I've asked the Court of Appeal to do is to let me have Paul examined by the two psychiatrists. I got a money mark loan, you know, those interest rates are $12,470 to hire two psychiatrists to examine Paul. But L'Arche is running out the clock because they want Paul to have full-blown dementia and not be able to say anything by the time the psychiatrists are able to examine him. But, you know, Paul's had a few tricks up his sleeve in his life. He hung on. He hung on for 5 years past the life expectancy. My dad lived to almost 101. My grandfather lived to 99. We've got good genes. So Paul's got a few tricks up his sleeve. And anyway, so the telephone call that I had with Paul today, the other thing the judge said was that I was allowed telephone calls, but I never made telephone calls. You know, it was like, he didn't care. But the telephone call that I had today was very worrisome for me. Paul did seem to be out of it. Either he was sedated or he's, you know, I warned them all that he's in decline, that there's a rush. And the registrar said he didn't see any urgency. You know, when I feel like my heart's being ripped out of my chest, I'm so frightened about my brother. But what I was going to say is, from the moment I got that letter from the lawyer in Ottawa, my 81-year-old nun sister's lawyer in Ottawa, I thought, I'm never going to see my brother again. And that wasn't true, because they allowed me to visit him for an hour on September 22nd at the Community Living BC. But, you know, L'Arche, I'll tell you one thing. Play your games. Play your games. But the British Columbia Human Rights Tribunal is on to you, L'Arche. They've got your number. The whole world knows what you're up to. So play your games, keeping my brother from the phone for my 10-minute phone call once a week, and hoping that he'll go into full-blown dementia before he could be interviewed by me and my doctors. Play your games, but everybody sees them for what they are. Paul, I miss you so much. I've got a great big pumpkin for you that my neighbor lady gave to me, and I'm going to carve it for you and get it to you somehow. I miss you so much. I'm going to see you soon. I just know it. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend. Take care.